Okay, today is gonna be a fabulous day. The sun is shining. We have this beautiful white roadster to test. It's the all-new 2020 BMW Z4 M40i. And before I go any further, I just have to say this. Every time I do a review that has that letter, that one there, Z, or down south, Z, I get all these comments. Why are you saying it like that? You're not pronouncing it properly. Well, I was born and raised in Canada, and that's how we are taught to say that letter. It is Z here. So either way, it's just a letter. So let's just get on with the review. How about that? So many of you know that the new Z4 is in partnership with Toyota with their new Supra. But of course, the biggest difference with the Z4 is this is the rag top. But overall, if you look at the dimensions of this new Z4, it is longer, it's wider, it's a little bit taller than the outgoing model, yet the wheelbase is a little bit shorter. The whole front looks long and very low, and if you see, it has standard LED lights. This is equipped with 19-inch Pilot Sport tires. And one thing that new BMWs have is an enhanced comfort access, let's say. So what you can do is you set it, and as you can see, as I walk toward the car, it automatically opens for me. And if I walk away, it locks by itself. So that is a great feature. We saw that on the X5 that we just tested. In the back, open the trunk, and it actually has a generous amount of room, and it doesn't matter with the top up or down, it's the same amount of room. The inside of the Z4 has a very nice cockpit-like feel. It feels quite spacious, actually. You have this quite large center tunnel, though, and that's where you control your iDrive. This is the latest iDrive. It controls that 10.3-inch screen up top. Beside that, you have a digital dash, same as like on the X5 that we just tested. You have this M Sport wheel. This has a heated steering wheel. This is equipped with a premium package, so that comes with a Harman Kardon stereo. One thing, though, I kind of find odd is that these speakers, these tweeters in the corner, just, I don't know why they didn't integrate them a little bit more. There's a gap here, and I know that's not, it's not a bad thing, it's just that's the style that they went for. Also, the premium package, you get an extended Wi-Fi and Bluetooth system, as well as wireless charging. So there is a dock there my phone goes into. I just want to read something. So this also has park distance control front and rear, the driving assistant that has the head-up display on this premium package, as well as the ambient lighting. And then there's a driver's assistance package for $1,650 on this, and that has the active cruise with a stop and go and the automatic parking. And the standalone, this is equipped with the Vernasca leather, and that's what these are. And these are great BMW sports seats. I've said it before, you're probably sick of hearing this, but BMW has some of the best seats in the business. They are so supportive and comfortable. Yeah, you can get sportier, but for everyday driving, these are perfect. Under here, though, you have a USB-C connector. You have also a USB-C here. Apple CarPlay is available. It is an option. Android Auto, you can't even get that, like all other BMWs. But here are your cup holders, and that is one thing that I wish they could have changed. So I have a bottle of water. I don't normally keep it there. That'd be dangerous, but there is nowhere else to put it. There is nowhere on the actual door panels to put in. It's very narrow here. You can basically put a pair of sunglasses. So you have to put your drink in the middle there. So once you do that, though, you can't close the middle. So that's kind of inconvenient. I guess it's okay like that, but you know, it'd be just nice if they just had it like maybe right here, even just one. That'd be nice. But other than that, yeah, it feels very spacious. There is a little bit of room in the back and behind the seats here, and it's netted as well. Let's go for a drive. There are two power plants available in the new Z4. And the first is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that puts out 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And then you have the one that I would definitely get. It's the inline-6 twin-scroll turbo in this M40i, and that puts out 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. So you put your foot into it. Basically, any evidence of turbo lag is non-existent. The torque comes on really early. You have this great gurgle. It just pulls, it pulls hard. We are in comfort mode right now, and of course there are different drive modes, but this M40i comes standard with a bunch of M Sport features, and the first is the M Sport suspension. So you have adaptive dampening, which adjusts the suspension. You also have an active rear differential. Along with that suspension, it gives you a nice, sharp, balanced feel in the corners. Let's put it into, we have sport mode. Okay, so in sport mode, that adjusts your steering, it adjusts your transmission, and adjusts the engine and the suspension. And right off the bat, you can really tell that the car is much more nimble. It's a lot sharper. When you go into comfort mode, it's kind of a little bit more numb. And unlike some other vehicles that have adjustable suspension, sometimes when you put them into sport mode, it's a little bit too stiff. This one is not bad. It's definitely livable. I could drive pretty well all day long in this sport mode. And if you're gonna go out and kind of go attack the corners, let's say, yeah, sport mode is great, but sometimes it's good to just put it into comfort mode, and instead of attacking the corners, you're just kind of going with the flow with the corners and just kind of chilling. Now, if you want to even have a little bit more fun or a more engaged drive, you go into sport mode and go again, and now you're into a sport plus mode. So even a little bit more aggressive, especially in the transmission. I wouldn't really recommend going in this mode when you're on the regular public roads, especially in the city, because the gears hold a long time, and it's kind of weird if you're going around the city in a very high RPM. Now, speaking of gears, standard is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's very quick. You can go into a sport mode just by slapping that gear stick to the left. I really like how easy that is. Sometimes that's all you want, is just a little bit more response from the transmission, or you have the paddle shifters. However, I don't think it's really necessary to use these paddle shifters because this transmission is so good. Listen to that burble. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but it sounds really good. This is one of my favorite engines, and it really reminds me of my 335xi coupe that I had with the Dynon package. And with that package, I pretty well had about the same amount of power as what this does, about 385 horsepower or so. One of the biggest differences between my old car and this Z4, though, is I had a 6-speed manual transmission, and unfortunately, neither the new Supra or the new Z4 is available with a manual, and that's too bad because this is one of the best engines around. If you've never driven this inline-6 twin-scroll turbo, do yourself a favor. Doesn't matter if it's in the Z4 or any other BMW products. It is one of my favorites, hands down. And with the manual transmission, it would just be perfection. But it is very quick, this transmission. In the drive settings, there's also an individual setting where you can customize what you want, and I find that very handy as well. For instance, on an everyday drive, I like the sporty steering and I like the sporty engine, but I may not want that stiffer suspension on a regular everyday drive, and I don't want the transmission to be into sport mode either, because once again, I said, it just holds the gears a little bit too long. So you can just program it like that, and when you hit that sport button, go into individual, it's all there, perfect for you. If you don't want that, you just hit sport or sport plus, and that's good too. Oh, this is great. And right now it's 24 degrees. It's a little overcast right now. This is the perfect weather for top-down driving. Nice little country road here. Everything is new on the Z4, along with the chassis, of course, and the suspension is also new. And for the first time in a BMW Roadster, this has a 5-link rear suspension as well. This is equipped with the M Sport brakes. They do a good job of stopping. I'm kind of surprised though, they're not as powerful as I expected. Not that they won't stop, you just have to put a little more effort into them. That whine and that pitch of that motor, it seriously it's intoxicating. It just makes it so much fun to drive. You don't even have to be going that fast. Oh, the road ends at 150 meters here. I did not know that. That's okay. There's the end of the road. That's all right. Just gives us a chance to listen to this motor even more. One thing a lot of people want to know though when buying a convertible is what's the road noise like? What's it like with the top up? So let's put it up right now. And like I said, if you're going under 50 kilometers per hour, you can do it while you're moving. There we go. Everything is complete. So let's get to some rougher road here. Now on the highway, I did notice that there's a little bit of wind noise, and you do hear, you know, some road noise for sure, and it's not as quiet as, let's say, some of the AMG convertible products that I've driven recently, especially that the AMG GTC. But you know, that is about $180,000. But that top, I believe, had about 6 layers of cloth, and I think a lot more sound insulation. And I can live with a little extra noise because that type of sound insulation weighs a lot. So let's hear. And it's not like a lot of noise that you hear. If anything, it's good because you get to hear that beautiful engine. Oh yeah. This thing is just, it's so responsive. It's so fun to drive. This new Z4 is totally different from the old Z4. I like that one, but it was definitely a little bit rougher around the edges. It wasn't as refined in ride as in the interior. This one is bigger, of course, so you feel like you have a lot more room, and it just rides so much more sophisticated. It can do so much more now. You can really drive it like a sports car, but you put it in that comfort mode, you can go and drive it for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, we're on a really rough road right now. Just to give you an example, so this is how as loud as it's gonna get. This is a really, really rough road. You'll hear right now in a second when we get to some smooth pavement, smoother. Here we go. Got smoother pavement now. There we go. This car is so good. Now, one thing that I'm wondering though is how does this compare to the Toyota Supra, which I haven't driven yet. I'd imagine it's going to be fairly similar because they're almost the same car. Tuning wise might be a little bit different though, and that's another interesting thing. This has 382 horsepower, yet the Toyota Supra on paper says it has 335 horsepower. So that's almost 50 horsepower difference. So this should be quicker. This is a little bit heavier though, but still, I think it should be quicker than the Supra. This makes a run to 60 in 3.9 seconds. And it feels a lot quicker than that. to 60. You know the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder? Well, I think this is the case with the new Z4 after being away for a couple of years. I liked the old Z4, but I love this new one. This is the Z4 for me. It has the looks, it's bigger, it has the luxury and the premium materials that you come to expect from BMW. And it has the sport, it's got the power, definitely, but it has the nice touring ability as well. So the question is, which one do you get? The new Supra or this new Z4? I can't comment too much because I have not driven the new Supra yet. It is coming down the pipes, by the way. But I can say if you're partial to roof down driving, well, I think you answered your own question. This Z4 will not disappoint. If you want to see any more everyday reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification to let you know when we have a new video out. Thanks for watching.